Space Invaders. It's a good video teaching kids about leading from the middle. You know, there's a story in the Bible about the Roman officer who came to Jesus to pray for, asked Jesus to pray for his servant. And Jesus said, I'll come and pray for him. He said, no, don't come to my house because I understand authority. I'm a leader and I have people over me that I follow, and then there's soldiers under me that follow my lead. And if I say to them, do something, they'll do it. And he goes, you know, if you speak to this sickness and speak healing to my servant, I know that he'll be healed. And so, of course, the servant was healed. But Jesus said this, he said, I have not found so great a faith, no, not in Israel. This wasn't even someone that had a covenant with God. He was a Gentile. He was a Roman officer. But the reason he understood faith is that he understood the concept of leading from the middle. And I think to a certain degree, all of us need to have somebody we're following and somebody that we're leading. It's a great place for leadership development. And so in most families, there's an older brother or an older sister that's leading from the middle. They got to follow mom and dad, but then they also got to try to convince their younger siblings to follow them. Now, they can use their leadership, their influence, for good or for evil. We've all seen and heard about the older brother or sister that used their leadership for evil. Another example is, and this is another way to teach kids about leading from the middle. Have you ever been in class when the substitute teacher shows up and says, you know, what happens? Well, the kids in the class all start trying to test the authority of that substitute teacher. They start trying to lead from the middle. Now, let's say the substitute teacher hands out a math test like this. Hands out a math test and gives you instructions. If you listen to the substitute teacher and do what they says, what are you doing? You're using your influence in a positive way by following your leader. And there's other kids around you that will probably follow your example. Or you could use your leadership influence to take that test, and instead of doing your test, you know, and this kind of thing happens when the substitute teacher shows up, you could take your math test and turn it into a paper airplane and start throwing your math test, the mathematical airplane, around the classroom. And what happens when you're doing that? Are you influencing the people around you? Yeah, that's why you did it. You did it to get a laugh. You did it to influence your friends. But you're using your leadership, your influence, in a negative way. And so to lead from the middle, you got to follow your leader and then use your influence to help the people that are following you also follow your leader.